Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I yield myself such time as I might consume.
The gentleman is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I guess Mr. Camp, who was my friend, wasn't referring to me when he talked about the Democrats who didn't like tax relief. They forgot about the idea that I was the lead sponsor on the net operating loss bill and have supported accelerated depreciation allowance and believe that there are some tax cuts, in fact, that are better than others. And at the same time, I think we could all find unity in the suggestion today that one thing we've discovered is that tax cuts really don't pay for themselves. But I rise in support of this extenders legislation that we're considering today. And certainly Mr. Rangel should be acknowledged for the hard work that he has offered on this legislation. There ought to be an opportunity here for us, Mr. Speaker, to find some common ground. There are many, many, many good parts of this legislation that I know our friends on the other side support. There are provisions here in the bottom of the ninth inning with 2 out that are expiring, and we need to give some predictability to decisions that will be made by businesses and individuals over the course of the next year. And this is going to be the last chance that we're going to have to do it this year. This bill contains extensions of many popular incentives. For my home state of Massachusetts, this bill means that 94,000 teachers will get a deduction for their out-of-pocket expenses for classroom supplies. No small matter. It means that more than 1,000 businesses in Massachusetts will get some credit for the millions they spend on research here in the United States. A reminder, the research and development tax credit is in this bill, and it is critical to retaining American jobs. Without this bill, 125,000 families in Massachusetts cannot take a deduction for college tuition expenses. This legislation provides significant tax relief to millions of families nationwide, both in red states, purple states, and blue states. There are 12 million families nationwide who live in states with no income tax. However, this bill does provide a state sales tax deduction. This bill also includes a number of popular tax incentives for alternative fuels. There are also packages of tax benefits to assist distressed communities and those hit by natural disasters. There are many well-crafted provisions in this bill, and there's not really enough time to address all of them. This bill does no harm to the federal budget. The cost of these cuts is completely offset by 2 revenue raisers, one of which I have offered and authored, and I know that there is broad support across America for that issue. This is the Foreign Bank Account Reporting Bill, which will shut down abuses by wealthy taxpayers hiding money in overseas banks. And for the life of me, I can't understand why everybody in this institution is not supportive of this measure. Transparency is important. 160,000 soldiers in Iraq, about to be 160,000 soldiers in Afghanistan, and we have taken our sweet time by not cracking down on these tax evaders who don't want to pay their fair share at the same time that we have these extensive commitments around the globe. I'd like to poll that question in any congressional district in America. We have taken the comments of those who are impacted, and we have made this reporting regime a workable enforcement tool in this legislation. Again, you should not be hiding money in foreign bank accounts for the sole purpose of avoiding American taxes. The second offset is a carried interest proposal, which seeks to ensure investment managers pay taxes on their earning as income tax rates rather than capital gains. Let me also suggest that Mr. Rangel has crafted a balanced bill. Again, I would repeat, it does no harm to the federal treasury. He has included a directive to the nonpartisan and I think highly effective and professional Joint Committee on Taxation to review the effectiveness of all of these extenders so that we can begin in earnest our effort to reform the tax code. I certainly am supportive of this measure. I hope it will find broad support across this institution. And with that, I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman reserves. The gentleman from Michigan is recognized.
At this time, I yield 2 minutes to a distinguished